All right, if I can have everyone's attention, we'll continue our media availability here at Phoenix International Raceway. We're now joined by Matt Kenseth, driver of the number 20 General Toyota, currently 5th in points, 1 win here in 2002, 20 top 10s this season, and 3rd highest total in the series. Talk a little bit about coming. You're going to question me on that?
No.
Coming into Phoenix this weekend, just talk a little bit about your thoughts on the championship and going for it here at Phoenix this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's been an interesting chase for us because we haven't, you know, ran consistently really well, you know, and we still have a shot at it if we can have a good day here Sunday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunday. It hasn't been the best track for us. We ran definitely better in the spring than we ran last fall, you know, so we came out here and tested. Hopefully we can improve on that and have a solid run Sunday.
We'll open it up for questions for Matt. Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. We'll start in the back here and then come up front to Tom.
Hi, Dominic Odegon with theracingexperts.com. So, Matt, if you're able to advance this weekend and you win the championship next week without a win, in your eyes, would that be good or bad for the sport?
I kind of missed most of that. Say it one more time.
So if you advance this weekend and you go to Homestead and win the championship next weekend without a win, in your eyes, is that good or bad for the sport overall?
I don't know, but it'd be really good for me.
All right. We'll go take our next question from Tom.
Matt, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. We've seen 2 big fights at the end of the last 4 races. Got a lot on the line this weekend. What do you expect on Sunday in terms of that kind of an intensity, especially if we have another late race restart?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't think either one of them were really, you know, expected. You never know what's going to happen. Obviously, it's been, you know, there's been a lot of emotional moments for sure, and you know the racing's been intense, which I think the racing is always intense. It's surprised me a little bit how nobody has been really you know, just super consistent up in the top couple, kind of like a normal chase. You know, we got a few guys that just are there every week without really having problems, that type of thing. So certainly there's been you know, some ups and downs and some emotions and all that, and I think what's going to happen Sunday is impossible to predict. The only thing you know for sure is everybody's going to be racing out there as hard as they can to try to get a win, and 8 cars that are you know, trying to advance next week are going to be racing as hard as they can to advance.
Okay, we'll take a question from Dave, then go to Jeff. Go ahead.
Dave Coleman, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Matt, Christy mentioned 2002, your win here. It seems like most of your better finishes came earlier in your career. Is there anything consistent in why you haven't been able to the same degree finish as well here?
I don't know about that. You know, it's hard for me to think back on every race here and things that happen and circumstances or that type of thing. So, you know, I don't know. We came here last spring, my first race with JGR, and we had a really good car. I thought we had a car that could have won. And we had some problems in the pits, and I don't remember where we finished, but it wasn't bad. Last fall was a disaster. In the spring, I think we were a little bit better, but all year this year we've been off compared to last year. So it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like it's a bad track for me necessarily. I just don't have, I guess, the greatest numbers here.
Okay.
Wish I knew.
We'll take our next question from Jeff.
Jeff Clark from USA Today. Obviously, the dog leg, you know, if there's a late race restart, that could really play a big role in the race. How do you think people should approach that? How do you approach that? I mean, is it fair game to cut the corner and come back up on track and bump somebody? I mean, how does that work?
Well, I mean, you can never predict when the cautions are going to come out. I mean, sometimes you can get a pretty good guess, but toward the end, you can't really predict it. You don't know what's going to happen. You know, I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, I don't know how much it changes. I mean, I think everybody races, you know, everybody kind of has their own code, I guess, if you will, you know, what they'll do, what they won't do, what's acceptable, what's not, you know. I mean, typically you're going to get raced how you race people. So, you know, as long as you're ready to be raced back like that, you know, I guess you got to make that decision, you know, when you're in that situation. To cut the dog leg? Well, I mean, I think cutting the dog leg is always okay. I mean, you know, and when you get to the corner, you know, there's the track's starting to widen out, and with the weather forecast this weekend, I think it'll be I don't think we're going to race 3 wide down there, but I think it'll be three grooves wide on entry. You see some cars running the apron, and you see some guys 2-3 grooves up. If you watch the race from the spring, so and with no rain forecast, I think it's going to be plenty wide. So I think it's acceptable to cut the apron and go 3 wide in there. I think that's something that happens every time we race.
All right, additional questions? We got one right here in the middle from Alan, then Marty in the back.
Alan Cavano, NASCAR.com. You came in this race last year battling for a championship, and same scenario this year. Any different feeling the 2 years compared to each other?
Yeah, it's a night and day difference, to be honest with you. Last year, I felt like we were, maybe not the favorite. I always felt Jimmy was kind of the favorite, but yet we had the most wins, the most laps led. We had a 10-week championship race where you kind of fret over every point and every position, and it was a lot more stressful, this year it just has a really different feeling. I feel like we've been knocked down on the mat every round at some point or another. I think every round we've gotten a wreck or had a terrible finish or something. We've been able to advance. Now this one's obviously tougher, but even running 6th and 25th last week, I don't know how we managed that. But after that, and still being close to the top 4 is surprising. So it feels a lot different. It feels like we've definitely had some mulligans.
All right, we got a question in the back from Marty. Go ahead, Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Marty.
What are some of the unwritten rules about racing one another that you guys know that we don't see?
I don't know. I don't really. I think that, I think every situation is different. Kind of like I touched on before. I think that, can't really control how somebody else is going to race, but I think in general, in the garage area, that the way you race somebody is more than likely how you're going to get raced back, more times than not. So I think you got to take that into consideration. So I don't know. Everybody has their own way of racing.
All right, we've got a follow-up up front from Dave. Can I get a mic to him real quick?
Actually, I'll give you 2 shots at it. 2 completely unrelated questions.
All right.
The first, if you don't have a good week, well, whatever happens at a racetrack, you want to at least take something away from it. Last year, you didn't get much performance-wise, but what did you take away from this weekend last year that you kind of build on, you learn, take away from?
Well, I don't know. We were terrible on the racetrack last year. We made some mistakes in the pits as well. It was just the whole day just wasn't good. We just never really did anything to help ourselves. So, I don't think it's something we really sat down and dissected and talked about. I think we were all pretty clear that it was disastrous when it was over. And you always try to learn from things that go wrong. Try to learn from things that go right too. But you always try to learn and be better. But we just like I said, we didn't run well and we didn't really help ourselves on top of that.
The other question is, Jimmy Fennig, your old crew chief, says he's getting off the bus, maybe to stay this time. Give me like a 90-second lesson on what makes Jimmy Fennig tick.
Racing, is what makes him tick in the competition. But Jimmy's probably, it's hard to argue he's not one of the best crew chiefs in the garage. There's not many people that have been in the sport as long as he has and remained relevant and competitive as long as he has. He's right in the championship hunt again, in 2014. I don't know what year he started, but I'll never forget when we won a Daytona 500 in 2012, I think it was, and he's like, man, he was sitting there smiling. He's like, last time I was here was 25 years ago with Bobby Ellison. That's the last time I won a Daytona 500. So, that's, when you think about that, and all the changes that the sport has had with technology and the cars and engineering and all that stuff compared to where he started, it really says something about somebody that's still that competitive today.
All right, final questions for Matt. All right, Tom.
Just a quick follow-up, Matt. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. Short of physically moving a car out of the way or wrecking him, what can you do on the track to hold somebody up or to make his life more difficult, since we'll probably be seeing that on Sunday?
I don't know. I think everybody's going to race as hard as they can for whatever spot they can get, especially you know, if it means advancing or not advancing, obviously you're going to race as hard as you can and try to finish as high as you can. I don't know that it's that much different than any other week. You're always trying to do that. I mean, if it's lap 20 and somebody's faster than you, it's probably not going to do either one of you much good to hold them up. But if it's 20 to go and he's faster than you, obviously you're going to do what you can. If you need that spot, you know, obviously you're going to do what you can to hold them off, just like you would in any event.
Are you going to see stuff like rivals take pit stalls next to each other to try to hold them up on pit road and stuff?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen any more than you do. I mean, that's why people buy tickets and turn on TV. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we're going to approach it like any other weekend and, you know, try to do best we can today to get qualified well, hopefully, and, you know, try to pick the stall on pit road we think will give us the best pit stops and rolling time and all that stuff on pit road like we would any other week, and, you know, go out and try to compete on Sunday. So, I mean, for us, the strategy doesn't really change.
All right.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you for your time
Thanks.
this morning. Good luck this weekend.